Hello, good morning and good afternoon and good evening, dear Dhamma friends. I am Pante Pesala from Labanuru Kanda Forest Mastery. So today also I welcome all of you for today's Dhamma talk. And today we are about to discuss Dhammapada verse number 9 and 10. So let's just wait till the Dhamma friends gathered here. So I welcome Manal, Janaki, and rest are, they are coming. So just wait for some time. Okay, first of all, let's pay our homage to the Blessed One. Then let's begin the Dhamma talk. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Anikka sāvo kāsāvaṁ yovattaṁ paridahessati apeto dhamma saccena naso kāsāva marahati yocavanta kasāvassa sīlesu susamāhito upeto dhamma saccena save kāsāva marahati. And also I welcome Kim Gordon also. So dear Dhamma friends, as I mentioned, today we are about to talk Dhammapada verse number 9 and verse number 10. So while conducting the sermon, if you have any doubt, you can type. Even while conducting the sermon, you can type the questions. So at the end of the discussion, I can answer the questions. So if you have any doubts, you can type the question. And if I move on to the verses, and the first verse, it talks about a disciple, a monk. Some monks, they wear the robes and they represent as the monks, as spiritual followers, but still their mind defiled or tainted with defilements, corrupted with defilements. And also, they're not maintaining the self-restrainment, that's called Dhamma. And also, they're not having the truthfulness. So those monks indeed are not worthy to wear the robes. So that is the meaning of the first one. And the second one, it says, the monk wear the, the discolored robe and stained robe, and also their mind already removed or the dispelled the defilements from the mind, and also they maintain the self-restrainment, and also they maintaining the truthfulness in their lives. So they are indeed worthy to wear the robes. So that is the simple meaning of the verses. So I will explain the verses in detail at the latter part of the sermon. So just we move on to the story. Our great teacher Samma Sambuddha preached these verses with regard to a monk called Devadatta. As in the other religions, there are some sadhan, that means, for the spiritual progresses, spiritual leaders, there should be some enemies. Similarly, even for the Buddha, there was an enemy that's called, he was named as Devadatta. That Devadatta was a monk, and he was before Buddha became enlightened. He was one of the cousin of the Buddha, and he eventually entered to the Buddha's community of Sangha as a monk. And initially, he was doing well. He was able to achieve even psychic powers also. But with the time, he corrupted and he became enemy of the Buddha, and he was doing so many hazardous things to the Buddha. He was trying to kill the Buddha, and also uh, he he tried to do the schism of the Sangha. That means he tries to make divisions on the Sangha, community of the Sangha. So he had done that. So those are considered as heinous crimes. So he had done so many heinous crimes against the Buddha. So this Devadatta, uh, he was living in, at that time there was a town called Rajagaha. He was living in that town. It is at that time Buddha was living in the Savatthi town. In between Savatthi and Rajagaha, it said that there were 8 yojanas. Distance is 8 yojanas. So while he was living in that city, the chief disciples of the Buddha, Venerable Sariputta and Venerable Moggallana, one day used to visit that city. So Venerable Moggallana and Venerable Sariputta, chief disciples, chief two disciples, you may have heard that, each disciples, they had 500 retinue. Under Venerable Sariputta, there are 500 monks, student monks. And also Venerable Moggallana also had 500 student monks. So altogether 1,000 monks visited to the Rajagaha city, where the Devadatta was living. So once the chief disciples visited to that city, the Sariputta Thera, he began to conduct discourses. And while conducting the discourses, he was mainly encouraging people to do dana much. So he was telling to the people that in this world, there are 4 types of people available, 4 types of donors available. So one type of donor, uh, he himself gives dana. He involved in charities, but he doesn't encourage others to do the charity, give the dana. So Venerable Sariputta said, in future rebirths, because of that, he will get the blessings of the wealth, but he doesn't get the blessings of the retinue. That means he doesn't get the friends, relatives, and friends and relatives much. He get only the materialistic wealth. That is the first type of person. And the second type of person, he doesn't give any dana, but he encourages the others to give dana. So Venerable Sariputta said, so those types of person in future rebirths, they will get much uh, retinue. They will get much retinue, friends and relatives, but they don't get much wealth in the future. And the third type of person, they don't give any dana, as well as they don't they don't encourage others to give dana. So in future rebirths, they don't get uh, you know enough food, enough accommodation, enough wealth, at least in order to quench their thirst, fulfill their hunger. They don't get enough food, they don't get enough materialistic thing. So that is the result, because they are not giving any dana, also they are not encouraging others to give dana. That is the third types of person. And another type of person, the fourth type of person, is the worthiest one. He practices dana, he gives dana, and also he encourages others to give dana. So in future rebirths, it said in that sutta, not only one life, sometime maybe 100 states of existences, sometime maybe 1,000 states of existences, sometime uh, hundred thousands of existences in future rebirths. Those who practices dana as well as encouraging others to give dana, they will get much materialistic benefits as well as the retinue, friends, relatives, colleagues, subordinates he will get because of his good behavior. So those are the four types of people available amongst the community of donors. So this sermon heard by one of the poor lay disciple, lay householder, and he decided to offer an alms to the Bhikkhu Sangha, to the community of the Sangha. So eventually he reached the Venerable Sariputta and asked Venerable Sariputta uh, to give, he needs permission from the Venerable Sariputta to give an alms giving. So at that time, Venerable Sariputta asked, how many monks do you want? Because Venerable Sariputta knew that he was a poor one, he was not able to maintain a large gathering of monks. Then he said, how many monks available, Venerable Sir? Then Venerable Sariputta said, there are 1,000 monks. So then he invited all the 1,000 monks to the alms giving ceremony. So then he immediately returned to home and he just roamed around the village and he gathered friends and relatives and he informed all the friends and relatives about the following the event. So people also got together and they accepted his noble activity. They promised that they will support him collectively, and some group of people said, we offer dana to 5 monks, and another group of people said, we offer dana to 10 monks, likewise 20 monks, 40 monks, 50 monks, 100 monks. Somehow he managed to arrange the dana for all the 1,000 monks, because he's not only himself is giving, he's contributing or involving others also to give that dana. So the arrangement was nicely happened. So at that time, one of the wealthiest person in that city offered to this organizer a very valuable piece of cloth, and he said, while you are arranging this dana, if there's any discrepancy, if there's any shortage, then you can sell this piece of cloth, sell value this piece of valuable cloth to the vendor, and you can earn money, and if you have any shortage, you can fulfill that shortage. So somehow when the alms giving happening, when the arrangement was happening, there were nothing any of shortage, so everything is okay, everything fulfilled. So dana was happened and it was nicely done, and at the end of the sermon, the valuable piece of cloth was just remained, and the organizer and the people gather and they discuss to whom this robe we should offer. And some said we should offer this to Venerable Sariputta because he is the chief disciple and he is very worthy of receiving this robe. He is having all the moral discipline, he is the virtuous monk, so we should offer these robes to Venerable Sariputta. And people in Rajagaha, they said, Venerable Sariputta is not often comes to visit us, but not like him. Venerable Devadatta, he always with us. If there's a problem with us, if there's a difficult time, then Venerable Devadatta is with us. And if there's a blessings with us, that time also he always with us. So we should offer that robes to Venerable Devadatta. So people agreed and they offered that piece of cloth to Venerable Devadatta. So at that time, Venerable Devadatta, having that piece of cloth, he just cut that robe piece of cloth into pieces, another pieces, and he stitches a beautiful robe and inner garment and as well as the outer garment. So once he prepared the robe and he wear the robes and he was moving here and there with pride and with conceit. So this was noticed by the other people and the monks, and they said, this piece of cloth, this piece of robe is not worthy to this Devadatta Thera. And somehow, one monk from that city came to the Buddha and informed that story to the Buddha. At that time, Buddha was telling to the community of Sangha, this is not the first time this Devadatta was uh, wearing the unworthy robe. Even in the previous existence also, he was wearing the robe which is unbefit, unsuited to him. Thereby, Buddha began to tell the Jataka story. In one of the previous existence, there was a large gathering of the elephants. And at that time, Buddha was born as the Bodhisattva. Bodhisattva means, you may have heard that, the one who is fulfilling paramitas or fulfilling perfections in order to become the Buddha. That person is known as Bodhisattva. So that Bodhisattva, he was born in that herd of elephants as an elephant, and he became the leader of the elephant. So at that time, there was another elephant killer, elephant hunter. So he used to hunt elephant, and he killed the elephant, and after killing, he takes the valuable body parts like tusks and other valuable body parts, and he used to maintain his livelihood in that way. So when the elephant herd was living, at the same time, in that time, there were some Pacheka Buddhas, some are known as private Buddhas. Pacheka Buddhas, in the sense, uh, in this to this world, very rarely the appearance of the Buddha is happening. So once the Buddha appeared to this world, he himself achieved the enlightenment, and he can preach that enlightenment to others also. That's why he is known as perfectly enlightened Buddha, Samma Sambuddha. But the the time which there are no Buddhas, that time is so much long. So during those times, there were some Buddhas appeared into this world. Those Buddhas were known as Pacheka Buddhas. So those Pacheka Buddhas, they can achieve the enlightenment, but they were not able to preach Dhamma to others. In order to, they cannot preach Dhamma to other beings. So they accept them. The others cannot achieve the enlightenment. So when this story was happened, there were some Pacheka Buddhas. So Pacheka Buddhas also wearing robes, and they also going Pindapata, arms round, and they were receiving food, and that's how they maintain the livelihood. So this elephant herd, while they were uh, moving in the jungles here and there, when they observe, when they confront the Pacheka Buddha, the elephant used to worship, by kneeling down. Uh, they used to worship the Pacheka Buddhas. If you come to Sri Lanka, some elephants they tamed, and you could see that when the festives happens, like the Candy Asala Perahara, in that Perahara also, elephants are, they uh, contributing, and they used to worship even the two relatives, as well as when they saw some monks, they used to worship. Similar way, even that time also, the elephant had a practice that when they saw a Buddha, Pacheka Buddha, they used to worship. So this was noticed by the elephant hunter, and he devised a plan, and he was waiting. When the Pacheka Buddha was bathing in one of the pool, one of the lake, he was waiting. And once the Pacheka Buddha uh, got down to the pool, to the lake, at that time he just stole the robes of the Pacheka Buddha, and he just went away. and he came closer to the elephant herd, and he just wear the robes, and he disguised as the Pacheka Buddha. So when the elephant was coming, they just uh, worship the fake monk by mistakenly taken him as a Pacheka Buddha. So then, when the last elephant when the last elephant passed by him, he just removed the ropes and he took his weapon and he killed the elephant, and he took the valuable body parts like tusks, and that he killed the elephant and he just buried him in the ground. So this was happening daily basis. After some time, the number of elephant in the herds were dwindling at that time. So this was noticed by the leader of the elephant herd, and he was thinking what was happening to my colleagues. So at that time, he noticed uh, this fake uh, monk. He didn't knew at that time. He didn't know that this was a fake monk, but he had a suspicious mind onto that uh, monk. So by thinking so, that time as the leader, he became last in the herd, and while other elephant in front, they were passing the monk after worshipping. So then uh, the elephant leader, he came last, and he carefully, cautiously worshipped the fake monk. At that time, fake monk immediately he saw that he just removed the rope and he took the hidden weapon and he was trying to kill the bodhisattva elephant also. So at that time, uh, the bodhisattva elephant, immediately jumped back and he somehow evaded the attack of the elephant hunter. And he was a powerful elephant, and he just grabbed the elephant hunter with his trunk, and he was about to dash him to the ground and kill him. But at that time, the bodhisattva elephant, he was thinking that this person still hold the ropes. So if I dash him onto the ground, then it will be a crime and it will not suitable. I am respecting the robe. So if I kill him, then it will not worthy to the robe. So by thinking so, he just spared his life and rebuke him and advise him for not to continue this bad behavior in future. So that is the uh, story which was happened to that Devadatta in the previous lives. So then Buddha finished the Jataka story and said, this is not the first time this Devadatta was performing crimes and heinous activities by wearing the robes. Even in that existence also, he behaved badly as a fake monk. So by comparing those Jataka story to the present story, Buddha began to explain these two verses. Buddha said, Anikkasavu kasavang yovattam paridehessati apeto dhammasachena naso kasav marhati. Anikkasavu means kasava here means the defilements. The one who wear the robes, uh, robe is stained and it's discolored, because it's we take pure white clothes and we used to discolor the robe by dyeing it. It represents the enlightenment. That's why when Buddhist followers, when they saw a monk wearing a robe, then they begin to worship and give veneration, give honor to the monks. So it is because the this robe, it represents the enlightenment. That is why it is known as in Pali. It's known as Arahat Dhaja, mean this is the robe is the flag of the enlightenment. So once we bear this robe, it is a great responsibility lied within us. We should maintain that discipline. So that's why by maintaining a defiled or the corrupted mind, if we are wearing this robe, we are not worthy to wear the robes. And Dhamma means also we should maintain the self-restrainment. That's why for monks, uh, you know, if you take, if you consider about the Dhamma and Vinaya, out of three baskets in the Tripitaka, there are separate basket that is called Vinaya, that's called the discipline, because there are so many uh, rules are available for the monks. That is because uh, bhikkhu or the monk has to maintain the self-restrainment. While having the self-restrainment means while speaking, we should maintain the restrainment. We should control our senses. Also, while doing our physical activities, we should be mindful and we should be restrained. While maintaining the restrainment of the verbal activities as well as the physical activities, it will directly help us, affect us to get the samadhi mind or the concentrated or the tranquil mind. So that is the benefit of maintaining the self restrainment. That's why, as I said, because are ordered to follow so many rules, uh, and also satchain. I mean, monk has to maintain the truthfulness, and if he doesn't maintain the truthfulness, he doesn't uh, worthy to wear the robes. That is the meaning of the first verse. And the second verse, Yochavanta kasavassa silesu susamahitu. The second person, he's a worthy monk, he's a good monk, and he already given up, already removed, dispelled the defilements in the mind. And also, he wear the robes, and also he has the self-restrainment, and also he maintained the truthfulness. So, one of the factor that as a good monk, as a good behavioral monk, we must maintain the truthfulness. Once there was a discussion in between the Buddha and the King Kosala, and in that Buddha said, people who lied, who can deliberately say lies to others, they can do any kind of crime, because people who can lie, they have the potential to do any kind of crimes. So that's the lying is one of the heinous crimes considered in Buddhism. So, as a monk, it should be obvious that he should maintain the truthfulness. That is one of the important factor. So, as a monk, while having the robes, while having donned the robes, and also he uh, maintains the undefiled mind, and also he has the self restrainment, and also he maintains the truthfulness. That monk is worthy to bear the robes. So that is the meaning of the second one. So then, in that case, one might ask a question that you know uh, all the monks available in the Buddha society, even in the present day society, also all the monks not yet fully enlightened, because uh, the defilement can be completely eliminated only by the fully enlightened one. So that in that case, the other monks who still has the defilements, they cannot wear the robes. That is not the case. Sometimes there are monks, they are not fully enlightened. They may have defilements, but still they can wear the robe, but they must try. They should try to cleanse the mind. If they are trying, wholeheartedly and genuinely, if they are trying to dispel the defilements in the mind, they also worthy to wear the robes. They also can wear the robes. So that is the meaning. Otherwise, If I said in as in this verse, if uh, if the robes is worthy to the the monks who already already removed the defilement, then robe can be weared only by the enlightened one. That is not the case. The one who is still having the defilements mind, but he's genuinely trying to dispel or eradicate the defilement. So he also worthy to wear the robes. Most of the monks, they are like that. Even in in if you are a fully enlightened bhikkhu, fully enlightened monk, you are known as aseka bhikkhu. Aseka means you fully disciplined, you fully achieved the disciplinary. And those who achieved the uh, basic levels of the enlightenment, the one who has achieved the first level of enlightenment known as the sotapanna, the second level is known as sakadagami. First level is sotapanna means the stream enterer, and the sakadagami means no once returner, and the anagami means the non-returner. So those are known as the seka. Seka means they still practicing. They have to discipline. So they are known as they are still maintaining the discipline. That means they have to they still practicing the discipline. But the enlightened one, they fully practiced already. They finished the practice. So they known as Seka, or the monks who are practicing. The one who doesn't achieve any kind of enlightenment yet. That means they are not still achieved any kind of sotapanna or any kind of enlightenment, but still they also considered as the Seka, or the monks who are practicing monks, because uh, they are practicing. Still they have not fully uh, you know uh, removed the defilements in the mind, but still they are genuinely trying. They also known as the uh, the monks who are practicing the discipline. They also worthy to wear the robes. That means it doesn't matter that whether you are enlightened or not enlightened, but if you are genuinely, you are wishing or you are trying to gain the enlightenment from the Dhamma, then you are worthy to wear the robes. So those are the valuable factors to be discussed with these verses. And with that, I came to the end of the Dhamma talk, and this is the time to answer your questions. And I welcome all of you to ask any questions with regard to this sermon, or as well as with regard to any matter in Buddhism. So there was a question being asked by Sud, and he said, "Dear Bhante, how can one apply this teaching to lay life? Oftentimes we have determinations to practice, but then uh, falter later on. Why does this happen? How are we to approach our failures in Dhamma?" Uh, that's a good question asked by the Sud, and uh, it is normally happen even to the monks, not only for you guys, but to even for us, it's happened. So in Buddhism, there's a term called Aradha Virya. Aradha mean Aradha Virya. Aradha mean initiated. Virya mean energy. So that means we have to maintain the same level of determination at the when we start to practice. We have a certain level of determination or the energy. So that energy has to be maintained. In the at the beginning, we have to maintain that energy, as well as at the beginning, at the middle, while we are in, after some time, its normal tendency of the energy is to dwindle. It's, gradually it reduced. But, with mindfulness, while practicing, we have to balance the all the, the uh, faculties, the five faculties known as Saddha, Virya, Sati, Samadhi, Prajna, the five basic faculties known as Indriyas. So we have to balance those Indriyas. Balancing means, while practicing, we should reflect, we should retrospect, we should inspect our mind, and we try to see the level of our indriyas or the faculties. When we consider about the saddha, or the the conviction or the appreciation towards the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha, we should consider whether we have the enough saddha or not. We have to contemplate. And if we see that we don't have enough saddha, then we have to develop that saddha by practicing Buddhanusati, Dhammanusati, and Sanghanusati, by while teaching the qualities of the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. In that case, in that way, we can develop our saddha. And if we are not enough energy or the virya, as I explained, so we have to know that with mindfully we should know that the level of energy is not enough. So we have to develop that energy, as well as the sati, or the mindfulness. Then if we are not enough, if we are not having enough mindfulness, then we have to develop that mindfulness. And also the samadhi. When we haven't get enough samadhi, then we should maintain that samadhi. Likewise, the virya, or the energy, we have to contemplate, and we have to get to know, and we have to maintain that energy in a similar manner, same as at the beginning. We have to maintain the same level of energy at the middle, and until we achieved the final result, we should maintain the same level of energy. So that has to be done, willingly, knowingly. Time to time we have to contemplate whether we have enough energy or not. So when we have that energy in the middle, in that way, if we can maintain that energy, then we can, uh, you know avoid, we can dispel the failures that we are uh, confronting while practicing Dhamma. So hope I had given the answer, and if you have not understood, then please ask further. Janaki Balasuriya Amma is asking a question. Another question. Bhante, I think that the Bodhisattva elephant, didn't kill the elephant hunter because, as the Bodhisattva fulfilling paramitas, he might not commit such an unwholesome act. Can't it be that elephant hunter was the wrongdoer who misused the sacred robe? Yes, that is the case. As a Bodhisattva, even as the elephant hunter, and he was a powerful elephant, and that time he was able to kill the elephant because he was a powerful elephant, but he didn't kill the elephant at that time because uh, uh, he's a Bodhisattva. That means he's practicing the perfections as you commented. So he's as a Bodhisattva, he is not committing bad deeds mostly, and but that is not applicable to each and every occasions. There are some Jataka stories. Sometimes if there's if there's an enemy, Bodhisattva used to destroy him. There are some occasions, but in this case, as an elephant hunter, when the Bodhisattva noticed his misbehavior, this time he spared his life, because at that time he was wearing the robes, sacred robe, and uh, you know, uh, it's not worthy. This sacred robe weared by the enlightened one, the Buddhas, as well as the private Buddhas, as well as the enlightened beings, Arahanteros, as well as the monks. So it deserved the respect and veneration. So that is why, still as a fake person, fake monk, still that person with that bad behavior, still he wears the robe. So because of that, Bodhisattva at that time as an elephant, he just spared the life of the uh, elephant hunter because of he was wearing the robe at that time. And hope I given the answer. So uh, that's all the questions. And if you have any more questions, then you are welcome. So since we haven't get any more questions, so this is the time to conclude the Dhamma talk. And uh, we share the merits of the Dhamma talk to all the devas and all the beings who are uh, who are willing to share these merits. May they receive these merits, and may they find the blessings, physical blessings as well as the mental blessings, and may they find the peace in the mind, and may they achieve the supreme liberation after the practicing of the Dhamma. And also, we share the merits to our departed ones. All the uh, departed ones who wish to share the merits, may they receive these merits, and may they be well and be happy. May they achieve the supreme bliss of Nibbana. And also, I would like to mention my teachers, especially with their permission. I would mention their names. Venerable Man Kadawala Sudassana Thera, as well as Venerable Man Kadawala Nandaratan Thera, as well as Venerable Kotmali Kumara Kassapa Thera. May my teachers share these merits, and may my teachers be well, be happy, and may my teachers be achieve the supreme bliss of Nibbana with these merits. As well as I would like to mention uh, the organizers of the Buddhist empty cloud monastery, especially Bante Sudasso, Ayya Soma, and Ayya Vadda, and other, the monks who contributed to this noble endeavor, as well as the lay disciples who are supporting to the empty cloud monastery, and all the lay disciples who have joined to this Dhamma talk, and all the beings who wish to share these merits, and especially Janaki Balasuri Amma, and she has uh, contributed a lot to conduct this Dhamma talk well, and she also received these merits, and also other all who have contributed and participated to this Dhamma talk may receive these merits, and with these merits and the infinite blessings of the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha, may they be well, be happy, and may they find the peace of Nibbana, peace of liberations to their minds, and may they finally achieve the complete liberation from the this endless samsaric journey. So with that, I would conclude the Dhamma talk. So thank you for all for joining in, and see you for the next time. Until that time, you may all be well, be happy, and Teruvan Saranai to all.